Hi, I'm Lauren, and we are going to do an algebra problem regarding the area and length and width of a rectangle. So let's get started. So here, you need to remember that the length and the width of a rectangle, and if you multiply those two quantities, you get the area. So that's the important part. So let's read the question and find out some more information so we can write out some algebraic expressions and then solve the problem. So it's telling us the length of a rectangle is 2 more than 3 times its width. So length of the rectangle is equal to 2 more, so 2 meters more, so everything's in meters, 2 plus 3 times its width. So that's equal to the length, 2 plus 3 times its width. And then the area is 20 meters squared. Area is equal to 20 meters squared. And then we need to find the dimensions of the rectangle. So length, we need to find length, and we have to find width. So the other expression that we have is that 20 meters is equal to length times width. So I'm going to actually head on over to different application because it works better for my pen. Once again, we are trying to find length and we are trying to find width. So let's get started. So to begin with, what I'm going to do is I am going to take equation 1 and I'm going to plug it into equation 2. We have 2 equations, 2 unknowns. We should be able to figure this out. So equation 1 plugging into equation 2. So let's start with equation 2. So we have 20 is equal to length times width. And we know what the length is. It's this equation right here. So putting that in, 2 plus 3w times it by w. So simplifying this expression, we get 20 is equal to 2 times w plus 3 times w squared. So we have only w's left and we have all numbers. So we should be able to solve for w and get the answer. However, if you notice, this is a quadratic equation. We have w to the first power and w to the second power. And technically this is a w to the 0 power. There's no w there. So this is a quadratic equation. So we have to use the quadratic formula in order to solve for w. There is no other way to do it. So you need to also remember what the quadratic formula is. So I have this little song. I know it's silly, but I haven't forgot it in 2 decades. So w is equal to negative b plus or minus square root b squared minus 4ac all over 2a. So that is your quadratic equation, but we need to get it into the correct format so we can know what is a, what is b, what is c. So let's rewrite this equation into our quadratic form. So quadratic form is you have the square value first, and then you have the 2 value first, and then we have to set it equal to 0. And so we need to subtract 20 from both sides, so minus 20, and that is our quadratic form. So this is a, 3 is a, 2 is b, negative 20 is c. Don't forget that negative. So now we have it in the correct form. We can use this formula to solve for w. So let's write it out. W is equal to negative b, negative 2, plus and minus square root b squared, 2 squared, minus 4 times it by a, which is 3, times it by c, which is negative 20. Don't forget the negative. All over 2 times a, which is 3. So there's our expression. So what this plus and minus sign means is that you have 2 answers here, because the square root will give you either a plus or minus answer. So you have to run 2 calculations. So let's write both of those out. Minus 4 times by 3 times by negative 20 divided by 2 times 3. So there is one thing you have to do. And you have to do this other calculation. Negative 2, instead of the plus, you have to do a minus square root of 2 squared minus 4 times by 3 times by negative 20 divided by 2 times 3. You have to do both equations. So when you calculate this out, don't forget to do the square roots, you end up with two answers. You end up with the width, which is W, is equal to negative 2.936. And you also get the other answer as 2.27. So now you have to decide which of these is correct. But you are smart, and so you're going to know that an area is a length times a width. And that's what the context of our problem is. And you know that you can't really have negative lengths here. So that is not the correct answer, but that is the correct answer. You just have to know and think about what answer makes the most sense. So you know that the width is equal to 2.27. So there is half of our answer. But we also need to find the length. So let's go back to our two equations. Coming all the way back, we know the length, but we need to, we know the width, but we still need to find the length. Let's use equation 2 here to finish up this problem. So we know that we have a relationship that 20 is equal to length times by the width. So we need to find the length, so we divide both sides by the width. So we get length is equal to 20 divided by the width. We know what the width is 2.27. So 20 divided by 2.27 is equal to 8.81. It's equal to our length. So there you go. You have your width is 2.27. Your length is 8.81. Don't forget the units of meters on both of those. And thanks for watching.